Okay, everyone. Today's lesson is going to be on identifying keywords, which is a very important step in the pre-search tasks that are used to prepare you for conducting research for a research project. So let's dive right in. Okay, so what is a keyword and what are they used for? Well, keywords are important terms that are related to a research topic, and keywords are what makes up a search phrase. A search phrase is the string of keywords that is typed into a search field used to locate sources on a specific research topic. Keywords are very helpful whenever an initial search is not generating useful sources anymore. Maybe you typed in your research question to a searching database and you've kind of hit a dead end and you're no longer able to find any new resources, or maybe you need to look into a different aspect of your topic that is not being addressed with the initial search phrase that you were using, which initial search phrases are usually generated using the research question and the words that are in the research question. But with keywords, we know that we are going to go beyond the words that you have used in the research question. So moving on, we are going to find out the different types of keywords. For the purpose of this lesson, we will use a sample research question to look at examples for each step of identifying keywords. So, for this entire lesson, our sample research question is going to be, was there ever life on Mars? So, based on that sample research question, we are going to look at our first type of keyword, which I have identified as the keywords that can be found within the research question. So, for this example, if you're using your first search phrase, which are using words that are simply pulled from your research question, we tend to drop filler words. So for this one, I chose the search phrase to be life on Mars. So our example research question, was there ever life on Mars? We dropped the words, was there ever? Because if we use those words in our search phrase, it will limit the results of our search. So basically, we just want to find sources that are about life on Mars. So the words life on Mars are all that's really necessary for that search phrase, and that is also a very great place to start. So in the process of identifying keywords, we would type in life on Mars in our chosen database, and we would see what sources are returned. We could go through the list of sources, choose ones that we find relevant, and instead of continuing to overuse the search phrase life on Mars, we're going to switch things up a little bit moving forward. Okay, so once we have found all the sources that we find that are relevant using our initial search phrase, life on Mars, we're ready to switch things up a bit. So, keeping our example research question, was there ever life on Mars, we are now going to find keywords by rephrasing the research question. So, instead of saying life on Mars, for example, we could use finding life on Mars or evidence of life on Mars. And those two search phrases were composed by rephrasing the research question. Was there ever life on Mars? These examples are just how I personally rephrased this research question, but there are endless ways to rephrase this and everybody's will be different. The next type of keyword is synonyms. So, for the research question, was there ever life on Mars? With the examples, I replaced the word life with a synonym organisms to generate the search phrase organisms on Mars, or as a synonym for Mars, I used other planets. So the search phrase could be life on other planets. In order to find synonyms, you can use a thesaurus, a dictionary, a simple web search, or they could be synonyms that you already know. The next type of keyword is terms that are related to your research topic. So, our research question, was there ever life on Mars? Another way to say that in terms that are related to life on Mars could be Mars discoveries. Discoveries that took place on Mars are related to the discovery of life on Mars, but this particular search phrase may generate new information that search phrases containing the word life or organisms may not be able to pull up. So we are no longer limiting our results to being specific to being about life, which sometimes you may end up getting a bunch of irrelevant sources. But after doing your initial search, it's good to just play around with different search phrases because you never know which search phrases are going to generate relevant results to your topic. There might be a search phrase that you would have thought would not return good results, but it only takes a few seconds to try. So you may end up being surprised with the results that you find by switching out words, taking out words and using different words and replacing words. So for our other example, I used journeys to Mars because there have been a few different journeys, maybe not with people, but different satellites or rovers. I am no science or planetary or astronomy expert. This is just an example, so these are the words that I came up with for this example topic. The final type of keyword that we are going to review in this lesson are keywords that are different aspects of your research topic. So, for example, the research topic is specifically life on Mars, but in general, this research topic is kind of about what has been found on Mars. So, for the example keywords, I used water on Mars because water was found on Mars, and while water itself is not an organism, or is it? Either way, water is not a synonym for the word life, but whenever water was found on Mars, that's kind of what made scientists believe that life could exist on Mars. So, while water may not be in your research question, it is not one of the words in the research question, and it is not a synonym for any of those words in the research question, but it is definitely related. So, I categorized this as an aspect of the research topic. So, another aspect would be Mars rovers. A rover is not considered life on Mars. A rover is not a synonym for life, but it is relevant because the Mars rovers scientists used and sent to Mars in order to discover the water and in order to explore the possibility of life even ever existing on Mars. So, like I said, while a Mars rover is not a synonym and it's not a word that is found in the actual research topic, it is still capable of generating very relevant resources for this topic. So now that we've discussed a few different types of keywords, we are now looking at where you can locate these keywords. So we basically have gone over this while looking at all the different types, so this slide is just meant to be kind of a summary of where we have found the different types of keywords that we've already talked about. So the first one is the research question. We found keywords from pulling the most important words from the actual research question. We've found keywords from rephrasing the research question, and we've used synonyms for the words in the research question. Synonyms that either you already knew yourself, or, which brings us down to the next bullet, you could have found synonyms in a thesaurus. So you could take words from your research question and look them up in a thesaurus or a dictionary. Encyclopedias, you can go to a library, pull a hardback encyclopedia and look up words in there, or you can find topic or subject encyclopedias within your university library's databases. There are encyclopedias, and they're just a good idea to consult at the beginning of your research, because maybe it could have a general description about your topic. It could fill you in on important words or terms that you don't know about your topic already. It could even provide you with important names in your subject area, or authors or scientists. An encyclopedia is just a really good general information source to kind of look at before really diving deep into your research topic. Next, I already mentioned dictionaries. You could look up the definition of any of the words in your research topic, like you could look up the definition of life, and maybe it would just give you another idea of another way to rephrase or come up with a search phrase for finding resources. Next, you could consult a subject database. So within the university library's online system, you could browse databases by subject. So for this example, we were looking at Mars, so planets. That's astronomy on a more broad level that is considered science. So you could pinpoint the subject that your research topic falls in and kind of just browse the databases for, again, relevant authors, researchers, scientists, people, even different topics might relate to your topic that you didn't realize and might lead you to more information. The goal with keywords is simply to be led to more information in however many tries that may take. So I just don't think that it's a good idea to ever rely on your first and initial search phrase without going beyond that. You should always strive to play around with your keywords and come up with as many as possible so that you know that you've searched every corner for information on your topic and you can find as much relevant information as possible. And finally, another great place to locate keywords is other relevant sources. So say within your first search you found a very relevant article and you're reading that article and it might identify an aspect or related term to your research topic that you may not have thought of. So actual sources is another great place to locate keywords that you need in order to find more sources. So that kind of wraps up the very basic and general details and steps of what keywords are, where to find them, how to come up with them, and how to use them. So I hope this lesson helped you, and happy researching!